Inside the head of Donkey Brain, yes, the same donkey who promises he'll focus right after this one last thing, there is a control room. A warm, glowing hall of buttons, levers, and switches, each one labeled reward, motivation, anticipation, and that weird urge to check the fridge again. Today, something unusual happens. Donkey Brain shuffles into the control room, rubbing his tired eyes. He looks like someone who slept 8 hours but somehow woke up emotionally bankrupt. His ears droop. His thoughts are scrambled. His focus missing in action. And then he sees it. A tiny gremlin. Greenish. Wide-eyed. Mischievous. Sitting casually on the main dopamine lever like it's a throne. The dopamine gremlin. Pulling, tugging, yanking. Every 5 seconds. Click, new tab. Click, snack time. Click, scroll again. Click, ooh, a notification shaped like a heart. The gremlin isn't evil. Just overstimulated. Like a toddler with espresso. Donkey Brain watches in horror as the gremlin slams both hands on the micro-reward panel, launching fireworks of tiny pleasures all around the control room. Every tiny burst fizzles instantly, leaving a haze of confusion. This explains a lot. See, Donkey Brain always blamed himself for being unfocused. For drifting. For living in a constant state of mental ping-pong. But what if it wasn't laziness at all? What if the real problem was this overworked, overstimulated creature hijacking the reward system? Donkey Brain steps forward slowly, not wanting to spook it. But the gremlin senses him. Its eyes widen. It grins. It pulls one more lever. Suddenly, Donkey Brain's attention darts toward the mental equivalent of a shiny object. This is the beginning of their story. And if you've been feeling restless, unfocused, or frustrated with yourself, this might be your story too. To understand the gremlin, we have to rewind. Back to a time when Donkey Brain's reward system was simple. A clean, peaceful room. Levers moved slowly. Rewards came from things that took time, finishing a task, learning something new, earning rest. Then came the modern world. And the gremlin, poor innocent creature, was not built for it. Imagine giving a medieval farmer a smartphone. That's what happened to the dopamine gremlin. Suddenly, its environment became a carnival of instant stimulation. Notifications, snacks, infinite scroll, autoplay, algorithmic dopamine drip feeds. The control room transforms into a flashing arcade. Machines whir. Lights buzz. Rewards spill out like tickets at a casino. The gremlin didn't stand a chance. It learned that pulling the fast reward lever gives louder, quicker fireworks than pulling the long-term accomplishment one. And so, like any creature exposed to an endless buffet, it adapted. It rewired Donkey Brain's expectations. Big efforts? Slow rewards? Nah. Let's just yank the lever labeled, maybe there's something new. Go check. This is why Donkey Brain wakes up with noble intentions but ends up wandering through distractions like a tourist with no map. Not because he's weak, but because his inner gremlin has been trained, by apps, ads, and algorithms, to seek bursts, not depth. We watch Donkey Brain walk through the control room, seeing all the dusty and used machinery, the lever of patience, the switch of deep focus, the dial of intrinsic motivation. The gremlin walks past them without a glance. Donkey Brain reaches out to touch the deep focus dial. Dust comes off like ancient ruins. He misses this. Maybe you do too. But the good news? What the world rewired can be rewired again. And Donkey Brain is about to learn that the gremlin isn't a villain, just confused. Eventually, Donkey Brain decides he has to talk to the creature. Not to yell at it. Not to chain it up. But to understand it. He sits down on the edge of the control panel. The gremlin looks up, still tugging on a tiny lever labeled impulse. Donkey Brain gently places a hoof over it. The gremlin freezes. This is the moment we all reach eventually, the moment we finally try to understand why our brains chase comfort over accomplishment. Why we avoid hard things. Why every distraction feels urgent. Donkey Brain opens his mouth to speak, but he doesn't need to. The gremlin sighs and slumps its shoulders. For the first time it looks tired. It admits, through gestures, squeaks, and mime, that it's overwhelmed. It's been bombarded with more stimulation than it evolved to handle. It's terrified of boredom. It's afraid of silence. It thinks Donkey Brain needs constant novelty to feel okay. And every time Donkey Brain got annoyed, guilty, or frustrated with himself, the gremlin felt it too. This is important. Your distractibility isn't a moral failure. It's a survival instinct misapplied. The gremlin grabs Donkey Brain's hoof and leads him to a wall of glowing panels. Each one a memory of every time a micro-reward felt safer than a big, scary task. A blank page. An uncertain project. A conversation that could go wrong. rest that feels undeserved. The gremlin pulled the quick reward lever because it thought it was protecting him. Donkey Brain kneels and pats the gremlin's head. Not with anger. With compassion. Sometimes, the first step in healing is realizing the part of you that sabotages you, is trying to help in the only way it knows. The gremlin wipes its nose, sniffling. For the first time, it listens. And the control room goes quiet. Quiet in a way neither of them have heard in years. Now comes the hard part. Not fighting the gremlin. Not punishing it. But retraining it. Donkey Brain points to the long-term lever, the one covered in dust and spiderwebs. The gremlin tilts its head, confused. It pokes the lever cautiously, and a tiny spark comes out. Nothing impressive. No fireworks. The gremlin shrugs. Boring. But Donkey Brain shakes his head gently and gestures again. This is the psychological truth. Your brain's reward system can relearn how to enjoy slow, meaningful rewards. But only through repetition. Tiny steps. Small wins. Consistency. Boring, beautiful consistency. So Donkey Brain creates a training course. A literal obstacle course inside the mind. He places miniature goals, simple, doable tasks, along a glowing pathway. Things like, sit for 2 minutes. Write 1 sentence. Open the book. Each tiny task lights up the long-term reward circuitry just a little. The gremlin watches, then tentatively tries one. A tiny bulb flickers on. The gremlin gasps, fascinated. It completes another tiny task. Another light turns on. Then another. Soon the control room starts to warm, glowing in deeper, richer colors than the fast reward fireworks ever produced. Deep dopamine. The kind that lasts. The kind that feels like pride instead of impulse. Donkey Brain and the gremlin work together. Slowly. Clumsily. But together. And something remarkable happens. The gremlin starts ignoring the fast reward levers. Not always. Not perfectly. But enough to notice. The mind becomes quieter. The tasks feel less intimidating. Focus returns in short, precious bursts, like a sunrise slowly revealing itself. Retraining the reward system isn't glamorous. It's not dramatic. It's small actions repeated often. And Donkey Brain realizes, he doesn't need to beat the gremlin. He just needs to guide it. By the end of this journey, the control room looks different. Still imperfect. Still occasionally chaotic. But calmer. Warmer. More human. The dopamine gremlin sits beside Donkey Brain now, not as a saboteur, but as a partner. They share the control board like two musicians learning to play in harmony rather than in noise. Some days the gremlin still gets excited and yanks a fast reward lever. Donkey Brain laughs. He expects it. He doesn't spiral into guilt anymore. Other days, the gremlin pauses and looks to Donkey Brain before acting, as if asking, is this the right lever? And this is the true transformation. Not perfection but partnership. Not forcing yourself into discipline but understanding your own wiring. Donkey Brain walks toward the deep focus panel. He nudges it gently. The gremlin joins him. Together they pull it, not hard, not dramatically, just enough. The world around them glows slowly, like a lantern filling with warm light. If you feel restless, unfocused, or scattered, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your gremlin needs guidance, not shame. Consistency, not punishment. Compassion, not self-criticism. Donkey Brain looks at the gremlin with a small, proud smile. The gremlin gives a shy thumbs up. This is how you rebuild your attention. One tiny action. One gentle pull of the long-term lever. One moment of partnership with the part of you that's just trying its best. Your mind isn't a battlefield. It's a relationship. And today, Donkey Brain finally met the creature inside who was never trying to ruin his life. Just trying to help, in the only chaotic way it knew. Fade out on the two of them sitting quietly, watching the glow of deep dopamine fill the control room. And maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of your partnership too.